What is happening YouTube? It's Jacob here from the Rush Dimension, and today I'll be bringing you a updated Salamangreat deck profile. So I'll just jump straight into this. So the main deck is still just your normal salad lineup, all the right greens. So I didn't change anything on the ratio since the last video. Just prefer seeing the cards that need to be seen in the hand and sticking with the 3 Foxy over 2 because I changed into Desires into the main deck so that I still have back row removal options and mid to late game normal summons so that I can search into more salad cards if I need to. And then I decided to play 3 Flame Buffalo over the Lady Debug. Slightly better in the more competitive version of the deck. It's level 3 if you need it to be overlaid for the Stalio. It's also fire if you need to use it for link fodder, and you can also use this to chain block the Balinks if you need to find if you need to draw into cards that you've sided in, or need to see more cards in your hand that are important to progress the game state. And then I also added in 2 Nightmare Corruptor Iblis for an alternative normal summon. You can theoretically bump this into 3, but then the normal summons will be slightly too much. The reason why I'm playing this card is because cards like Nibiru and Gamma and Impermanence is mostly seen in all the main decks for the current meta. So this is just our way of getting around cards like that. So if you see this over the Buffalo in your hand, you can normal summon this, link it off for Baitings, and summon this to your opponent's side, and then you can actually continue plays without having to worry about being Nibiru'd or your plays being stopped by anything other than Ash. Next I added in the 2 Sea Archivers over just 1 because I was a bit afraid to banish the one off the Desires, so that you actually have a existing extender in the main deck as well, and this card floats awesomely from the graveyard once you've used it and following your next play. And then I also added the 1 copy of Prohibit Snake. This is literally just to get over cards like Winder or anything that places you under some sort of a lock that causes you not to be able to play, so you can try and get this into your hand from the Cyanide Mining or draw into it from Buffalo, and then just swing over specifically because Dogmaticas are so huge in this format, so you can get over the Winder lock and discard in graveyard so that you can banish 1 card and add back the Gazelle if you haven't added it back off the Sunlight Wolf in your turn. Still the 3 Ashes and 3 Ghost Spells. These could obviously be whichever is more prominent in your area. I chose these because it's more generic, covering stuff like Drytron and Dry Brigade in my area, but this could be anything else. So basically Ash stays in the deck because it's fire, and this can be anything that you need in your area. And then going into the spells, still 3 Cyanide Mining, never less, and then I added in 2 Desires. I tried 3 Desires, but you always end up drawing into another Desires, and you never resolve more than 2. Otherwise you can just add an Upstart if you, like me, are too afraid to play 3. And then still Double Wall. This is still a very decent card mid to late game, as well as a very good starter. I just couldn't fit in the 3rd one. For the people that play 3, it's not wrong. There is no incorrect way to play salads in my opinion. I just prefer playing 2 because for me I'd like to draw this card either in 1st turn or going into 3rd turn trying to break an opponent's board. And then just the 1 of Circle and the 1 Sanctuary. No explanations extra needed for that. Then going into the traps, I still play the 2 Raw and 2 Rage, so that if you banish one or the other off Desires, that you still have a live target in your deck. And obviously if you draw one, search the other, and vice versa. I just prefer playing multiple copies of both. And for last I added in the Rivalry of Warlords because I changed everything in the main and in the extra deck mostly to Cybers. So this will be played over something like Imperm, so that you can place your opponent under some sort of a soft lock. Mostly Tri-Brigade players have a bit of a hard time because most of their archetype is based in different types, so that they won't be able to special summon once they've already had 1 type on the field. Then going into the extra deck, we play still the normal standard lineup mostly. The 3 Ofs of the Balinx, 3 Sunlight Wolf, and the 2 Heat Leo. Obviously the Heat Leos are interchangeable depending on player preference. And then just the one extra fire that I played was the 1 Phoenix. You can drop one of your Heat Leos if you'd like to for anything else that you like to play. This is obviously a flex spot. This can be a Dweller or any other rank 4 play or any other link that you prefer playing in your deck. And next I have the 1 Splash Mage, the Update Jammer, and the Transcode Talker, just for floating in some cards from the graveyard and being able to climb into bigger things that are in the extra deck, and this just for the OTK purpose. And of course still the 1 access code, a lot easier to make with Splash Mage in the deck, and using either Splash Mage and the Update Jammer and then going into this being able to attack twice is still awesome. And then just additionally as a beat stick I added in the 1 Avramax, also being able to attack twice off the Update Jammer and being slightly indestructible on the field makes it quite difficult. If you are able to climb into something big in your first turn, you put this on the field, then have to try and out this first before trying to get around the rest of your board. And then just the 1 of Mirage Stalio still being a very awesome card, being able to shuffle something on the field when linked off or anything like that, which is still very good, and you should not run this card. Then going into the side deck is obviously player preference or based on the areas that you play in. For combo decks I just kept to the Nibiru, keeping it simple. This can be anything else, this can be Lancers, this can be whichever crows. Like I said, player preference to things that are happening in your area. I stuck to 3 Nibiru because we still have at least 70% combo based players in my areas. I have the 3 Cosmic Cyclones because there are still back row decks running around, and you're trying to at least bait out the 1 Revolt that is on the field. And if you decide, you can play Feather Duster or Twin Twisters over this for mass removal, or if there's more back row present in your areas. Then I still kept in the Dark Lunar Moors just because of the Stalio. It just makes it easier to clear things off your opponent's board. Unfortunately you can't do damage when this is activated, but at least you clear the board a lot easier, and then you can still build a board and hopefully your opponent won't be able to get over it. And then I moved the impermanence to the side deck, which will be swapped out with the rivalries in the main deck if you need, or if they have a way to play around your rivalry. And then just last, just for spell setup, basically you can play 3 anti-spell if you'd like. I just prefer the 1 IO because this actually kills your Sky Strikers and it gives them a bit of a difficult matchup going first. So if you have this activated and all your other things set, it just makes the game a lot easier to play. that is it for today, guys. Please like and subscribe. Any comments are welcome, and we'll see you next time.